Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Ultimate General Civil War, and we're returning to episode 57 of our Let's Play series, playing as the Confederacy, as we move through the grand campaign of this game, trying to win the independence for the southern states and the Confederacy, and winning the game. We're quite a ways into the series. We're in the final campaign, the Washington campaign, and we're on the last battle before the climactic battle around Washington. The battle that we're going to be fighting that's coming up here is the Battle of Hardin Pike, which assumes a Confederate attack on Nashville. It also assumes we've already liberated Vicksburg and all of the other southern capitals, and that Nashville is the final southern capital left to be under Union control, which is the last thing preventing us from launching that final assault on Washington. This footage was taken from a live stream from a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off at least my live self here and turn you back over to the live stream commentary. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you guys at the end. All right, here. So we're going to go ahead and move in. The second corps will lead the way again. First corps will be the reinforcements that come up. Yeah, all right. General, Nashville is surrounded by formidable fortifications second only to Washington. We shall attack the northern part of the Federal defensive line at Hardin Pike. The pike is defended by two strongholds, one to the north. Oh god, look at how steep those hills are. And the second to the south. They're protected by this redoubt. Presumably that redoubt has a bunch of artillery in it. And all of them are surrounded by a trench line. Good to know. I was going to say, that front trench line doesn't look too difficult, but the redoubts do. Nashville was the first Confederate state capital captured by the Yankees. Now it is the last one that needs to be recaptured by our final march to Washington. Godspeed, General. Alright, so how do we want to approach this? It's a wide outer trench. I don't think the outer trench is going to be too difficult to deal with. The challenge is going to be dealing with this inner trench. You can see here the enemy has about 49,000 soldiers and 208 guns. This redoubt is going to be a challenge. Now, it does have cover leading up to it. This wood line here could provide some cover for our attack, but the problem is it's a very steep hill to get up. The one in the south is a little bit weaker in the sense that there's no hill line, but you're also horribly exposed and in the open the whole way. The one thing is the southern line, the cover is opposite of a open, enemy troops in the open, and you've also got this little hill here in the south. Additionally, when you take this position, well, maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot of... Oh, no. I mean, I don't want to try and take them simultaneously, I don't think. Looks like we've just got our first corps on the field initially. Our second corps will arrive. This almost looks like a high ground above the trenches, though. It's really hard to tell. But maybe we could set some guns up here. Try and hit them. I think we'll move these guys into this wood line. I don't want to have too close, you know, a army that's too close together in terms of spacing. I think we suffered a lot of casualties last battle because we didn't have that. Or because we did have that, sorry. We had too many troops in too close a proximity. Of course, I don't want to fail in my attacks because I don't have sufficient reserves, because inevitably some brigades are going to be pushed back. Try and move all of my artillery up here. It would have been nice to be able to place my army. It didn't really let me do that in this fight. Try and move our artillery forward to the front of this wooded area so they can hit these initial trenches at close range. I think that really worked out for us last battle. So several of these units in the south have not issued orders. We're really going to focus on the northern objective first, then we'll swing south. We've got 5 hours again to deal with it. Let's let some of these initial troops start moving, see what I didn't order. Alright, so we're going to really just kind of, again, focus on the northern objective. Maybe the second corps, when it comes on, will focus on the southern objective. Let's detach some skirmishers here, make sure there's no enemies in these woods. I doubt it. They're probably all just in the trench line. So these woods kind of come close to the trench line here, so I think that's going to be my main advance, my avenue of advance. Additionally, it kind of comes close to the actual redoubt and objective. That'll kind of be my focus. Yeah. It reminds me of, what was that movie with Kirk Douglas, that had the rat hole where he like committed mutiny to save his men? The German position was called the rat hole. Or was it the rat nest? Or maybe, no, the ant nest. What it was called. All right, let's see what this elevation looks like. It's really it's difficult to gauge sometimes in this game, elevation. I missed the map that they had in Ultimate General Gettysburg, where it actually told you the elevation rather than trying to eyeball it. It wouldn't be so bad if you had to eyeball it if it wasn't for the fact that it's a top-down view of it. Okay, these brigades are all under strength, which is interesting. So only 1,000-man brigades in these front brigades. What the cover is here. But each one of these redoubts is on some tricky elevation. I've got 5 hours. I don't want to rush it. I want to take my time. So it looks like we'll be able to get one brigade in kind of close in good cover. Apparently they're still out of range. Boy, does that cover fall off fast. Alright, what do we want to focus on? We focus on Cooper's brigade. Bring our artillery forward here. That'll be a nice little close-in area to have some cover. Find cover, man! Get in under cover! Alright, so Nelson just took 100 casualties without accomplishing much and was driven back. Problem is he can, like, focus the fire of, like, 4 brigades. No. Alabama, stay back. Gotta coordinate this a bit better. Alright, Greg, get in cover here. Double quick it. Try and get into cover there. This is just kind of a... We're testing... Oh, God. I know they're going to be incredibly close, and I should have waited for the artillery, but I'm hoping that they can just... I don't really want them to melee. I want them to volley from cover. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit more tricky to figure out here. Because now they're immediately in fire of the adjacent brigades. Good God. What guns are these? 12-pounders? Give me something bigger than that, right? 20-pounders? My artillery from the south, is it? Coming up? Fuck's sake, just try and break the line! There you go. Cooper's brigade's been driven. Alright, pour some troops in the hole here. Oh god. Don't get too far forward here. This is gonna be a tricky fight. Feels like it might be the Maginot Line. In any event, some of these federal troops must not have great morale because they already broke. So we're gonna move some of our reserves forward. Nelson can turn to deal with the threat from his flank. Greg can advance in cover. And we'll bring the other brigades forward. Kiefer and Eli are flanked, so Kiefer will fall back, it looks like already. So we've penetrated that first line in the Yankee position. I think the second line will be much more challenging. We're going to move our artillery forward right away. But we've essentially uncovered this whole federal position. You stay in cover there. You can see them withdrawing south. Second Corps is ready to advance. Don't really want you guys charging out at them in the open. But if you can engage some of these guys in the open, it might be worthwhile. That is exactly what I wanted you to do. Weaken some of their artillery. Now fall back to cover. Get as many of these guys in the open as you can. Like, if Moore wants to situate his brigade out here in the open, it's essentially asking to die, so please oblige him. Alright, so focus on this redoubt. Focus on the artillery in the redoubt, as long as you've got good cover. Both those brigades do. I don't know why the Federals want Cooper to retake that trench line, but that's a death sentence, essentially. Should be able to volley at this. Alright, the goal has to be to drive that artillery back as quick as possible. Good God, Eamon, his troops are just melting. Fall back. Alright, Betty is in reasonable cover. Greg apparently can't hit him from here. I've got to destroy their artillery to have any chance. But to get close enough to do it, apparently, I've got to take unacceptable losses. Like, why are you blocked? Ugh. Alright. Let's move our troops forward here into the open, because that's exactly what we want to do. This battery. Move Eamon back in here. I'm just using a small percentage of my forces. I'm well aware of that. What's a draw look like here? North Fort or South Fort, just one of them? That should be doable. The hell are they doing? By all means, advance your flank to our front. Uh... I hate to order a charge on this position, but I think we might need to do it. I'm trying to just pick one spot in their line that we can just overwhelm. Cause it to break. If we can crack that nut, then things become a lot easier. Okay. I hope I have an army left for the attack on Washington after this as well. The good thing is the vast majority of my army hasn't engaged yet. See here, most of our brigades are sitting in reserve. I didn't want to do this. Alright, alright. We dislodged Dyer. It only cost us like 2 brigades worth of manpower, but we did it. Now we just need to destroy this artillery that's in these redoubts. A dicey proposition. Would you guys focus on the infantry that's in the open? Alright. Broken through. Why do they keep advancing troops forward like that just to die? I don't understand that. Alright. Eamon, move on the double. You two ball. Or Beal. Kiefer's routed. So he's driven back. Eamon's gonna get in, presumably behind them a little bit. Focusing on that artillery. He's on the flank of Hubbard. Thank you for the follow, Chris. Alright, so they're going to expose their flank to us. We're going to bring up more brigades. We've got a whole bunch of troops we're not even using. Yes, I'm aware of that, guys. You can see here they've got a huge line of infantry here. But the key is dislodging them from those positions. That's the key. Some of these brigades are going to get shot to pieces, but it'll really even the tally a bit if we can just get them out of their earthworks, out of their entrenchments. And kind of work up the flank, work up their the side of their line. There you go. Here we're widening the breach. Get them up the hill on the double. Thing is the artillery, which I can't even see some of the artillery because the woods are so thick. Beal, I want you to focus on the artillery. 1855s, I want you to focus on the artillery. Alright. Driving the artillery off. Very good, sir. Very good. All right. Clifton Beale is wounded. Seems like their troops over there on the flank are actually losing worse than we are. Alright. Advance, advance. I want a general advance across the line. Get up here and provide support, men. Alright. Forward. Forward. And into reserve. Alright, so we're moving the rest of our troops up. We've used about half of our time somehow. This thing is moving way too fast. We haven't even taken the first objective yet. Although, I think it's safe to say it's probably about to fall. Okay. Goddamn artillery. Alright, so we secured the North Fort. We've still got to do some more work to actually drive them out of here. But at least the preliminaries are done. Cooper's brigade just routed from the field. Focus on that artillery. Let's get this artillery of ours up here as well. I want to get it in as close as we can. Looks like we need some supply for some of these troops, so we've got a bunch of troops coming up. Get our wagon up as well. Alright, Hall's brigade just got driven back. Morse is being driven back. Some Federals are advancing through the open, which is always nice. And then we'll shift to the southern fort. So you can see a lot of these guys are pulling back. We'll move them forward here to take possession of the fort, and then I think we'll use our other corps to actually press the attack on the second fort. We'll use the artillery, of course. Okay. So far, the enemy has lost about 5,000 troops, so we've lost about 5,000 troops, so about even casualties thus far. Now that my recon's up, I can see some of that information. But interestingly enough, now the enemy's in the open. So like this brigade over here is in the open. So is this brigade. Why are they moving all these troops in the open? Alright, we're bringing some of our other reserves up. Okay. I think that's everybody. Oh. Mouse went off the screen! Alright. Alright, move these guys forward over here. And I guess we'll try and advance. First we gotta take out this artillery. Okay, that battery's gotta be almost dead. Get one more volley in on it, I think you finish him. Ah. Oh. Why are they coming after you like that? In the open? Alright, where are we at now? I think the tide has turned a bit on the casualties. Does appear to... maybe not quite. So I'm trying, again, to focus in on the artillery here, but got so much of it. Also got a lot of infantry here. We're trying to focus on one corner of the line, and apparently it's blocked, so they've... You know, that's going to be a lot more difficult to take Washington if they revised how the aiming mechanics worked. Because we're going to lose a lot of men trying to attack forts if we can't actually kill the artillery first. Alright, we got about an hour and a half left. I don't really know the best way to attack this southern fort other than maybe don't. Seems like a bit of a fool's errand to me. Let's see, Stuart was just driven back. God damn, this is just a nightmare. I don't even want to attack this southern fort. How many men have I lost now? About 8,000 versus their 7,000? Good God. Okay. That's my issue here, is I should be able to attack this guy. Well, now I am. I don't know. It's so weird. Yeah, there you go. Get wrecked! Like all of my troops over here on this flank. Alright, so we finally drove that artillery, at least temporarily, back. Not gonna last. Alright, we've got a whole bunch of brigades that are doing nothing, but the problem is we can't really use our manpower to our advantage because we don't have the space to use them all. Look at all these fresh troops over here, but like, what are we gonna do with them? I don't want to attack across a broad front. That would be foolish. Alright, everybody, that seems like a logical stopping point. We've taken the objective on the Union right flank, our left, with great cost, moving through very defensible terrain. And now we have the one objective here on the right side of the map, on our right flank, on the Federal left, to take in this other really heavily fortified and somewhat exposed approach to this position. If we are able to do that, we will win the Battle of Hardin Pike. I'm losing a lot more casualties than I hoped or really even factored in, but we'll see how this plays out. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump in here and end this episode. It's been about 30 minutes, so we'll pick it up next time around. Until then, though, I hope you guys have continued to enjoy this series, and this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.